Kia ora te whānau, no mai haere mai. My name is Renee and I am based in a little place called Maihihi, which is about 25 minutes out of Otarahanga in rural Waikato. And I'm going to have a yarn to you today about taking your business online. So I'm going to use the word pivot a lot in this chat, and I feel like, especially at the moment, pivot is a bit of a buzzword that can sort of make us roll our eyes. And so I wanted to demonstrate that I walk the walk when it comes to pivoting. I'm not just going to sit here and tell you to pivot. And basically how I got here was a series of pivots. So, born and raised in Cambridge, went to Cambridge Primary, Cambridge Intermediate, Cambridge High, very standard. Ended up at the University of Waikato and did an accounting degree, became an accountant, did my professional accounting qualification, ended up as an event accountant in Australia, and then pivoted into event management. From event management, I took another slight pivot into project management, and at the same time, give take, I launched my first e-commerce business. Now, it was a mega fail, and that's okay. So I have been there in terms of, holy heck, this is absolutely not working and I don't know what to do here. So another pivot back into full-time work, as the case was, and I got into process improvement projects. From there, met and married a farmer, and we now live at least an hour from Hamilton, which makes things pretty tough in terms of trying to have a real job in the corporate world, and so ended up doing more e-commerce stuff. So not only did I rebrand and grow one of my businesses, I launched another e-commerce business, and then now I build e-commerce websites. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of pivoting. One of my businesses I rebranded and I started making my own stuff to sell. So I was actually arm knitting these huge, big, chunky throws, and from there, very time consuming, a lot of effort goes into that, and then I pivoted into selling kits, and then from there I pivoted into doing more downloadable patterns, etc. So that business has actually been on hiatus for the last few months. I just had a little bit too much on my plate because I launched another e-commerce business, but during lockdown, would you believe, everybody wants to learn how to crochet. So another slight pivot there. I've been putting together some free online tutorials for really basic crochet that people can do at home using whatever they have. So rather than having to have a certain size yarn and a certain size hook, I'm just trying to give some ideas that people can put together just using whatever they might have in their yarn stash at home. And I'm also putting together some free downloadable patterns for those as well, or instructions, and that's one of my pivots. So in another one of my businesses, which was my service-based business, which I do also run as an e-commerce business, I put together some online courses at the start of this year, and they have been going pretty well. So my pivot for those during lockdown has been, hang on a minute, so the way that I designed them was people got an email a day with some tasks that they would complete that day, the idea being that they, within 5 days, they would have completed the online course. Well, then I thought people have got a lot more time on their hands, arguably, so what I've done is I've condensed those down into an express course, so in one day you get all of the sessions. So that's another pivot. I did mention I started another e-commerce store. I did that late last year, and it's a cruelty-free cosmetics and makeup business, and I started that by sourcing products from other people, so they would wholesale them to me, I would retail them, was working quite well, and then I happened across an opportunity to actually start sourcing my own products. So that was my pivot there. So this is not a listen to all the stuff I've done conversation. This is a, I promise when I say pivot, I've done the pivot thing too, plenty of times. I guess my point of difference, therefore, is that I'm not sitting here telling you what you should be doing in terms of e-commerce. I'm coming from a place of experience because this is stuff that I do within my own e-commerce stores, and it's things that I test and try with different audiences, and then I can be in a place to better advise clients who come to me for e-commerce services. So look, forsaking the fact that we're in a global pandemic and things are a little bit different right now, shall we say, we all sort of need to know that we need to get our businesses online. And there's a few reasons for that. One, you're better able to serve your current customers if you are online. And the other big thing is that you're actually better able to grow your customer base if you are online. So I'm going to use this as an example. I did buy this online. Let's pretend I didn't. Let's pretend I bought this from a boutique in Cambridge, this beautiful handmade in New Zealand jumper. So I buy this from a boutique in Cambridge, bricks and mortar, pretty standard really. Now then I go to Auckland and I go to, I don't know, a baby shower in Auckland, and I wear my beautiful handmade jumper. And when I get there are other ladies there, and they see my jumper, love my jumper, obviously, and they have a whole lot of questions for me. So they want to know, how much was it? I can tell them that. What other colours there were? I can also tell them that. But then they want to know, how can they get one? And unfortunately, this store in Cambridge, they don't have this online, so I can't direct these new word of mouth customers directly to this website to then purchase that online. Not only that, I might decide, heck, I really love that pink jumper that I bought. I think I need another one. But I can't get to Cambridge for whatever reason. I want to buy one as a gift for someone. I want to buy one as a gift for myself. So I'm in that sort of impulse buy, last minute shopper phase, but I can't get to Cambridge. It's technically 45 minutes from where I am right now. I can't buy another one. So not only would the online store be better serving me as a current customer who already knows and loves the product, there's also missing out on that potential customer who I've seen at at the baby shower. Without getting too technical and throwing out too much jargon, by having an online store for the jumper, just going to stick with the jumper example for now, there is also a data collecting opportunity. So the ladies from the baby shower that I went to, they jump online. The jumper maker lady, she's got her website set up so that her Facebook pixel is on there, and she's collecting data about these women who are on this website browsing at jumpers. So that she's collecting data about their demographics, and she's collecting data about what they're looking at on her website. So what that then means is she can use that data when they then tell their friends about this and their friends jump on. They're collecting data about them as well. And so what that means is you can put together a digital marketing campaign that is based on data that is relevant to this business with the jumpers. So therefore, when I put together a campaign and I start marketing via Facebook, whatever it is, these jumpers, I know that arguably I've got a better chance of hitting my target because I've already been collecting data about these website visitors. So instead of just using the scattergun approach, I'm using a more, not quite laser focused, but a more focused approach to my digital marketing, which means better return on advertising spend, which is really, really important in this market. I don't need to tell you this. So, silver lining to a global pandemic, if I'm allowed to use that cliche, is that we're all in a position now where we're taking imperfect action. So it is so easy as a business owner. You've got a lot of irons in the fire. There's a lot of things going on. You want to have all your ducks in a row before you launch your online store or upgrade your website or launch your new product or launch your new pivoted product. I don't think that's a thing, but we'll just roll with that for now. So we don't really have a choice. We've got to move, and we've got to move fast, and we've got to adapt, got to pivot. So we're in a position where imperfect action is what we're going to be doing, and that's good. It's good to be sort of forced into making these decisions because then we can get the ball rolling on these things. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with some business decisions that you need to make as a business owner, as a business manager, as someone who's working within a business. I'm going to refer to my notes, so I apologise if I keep looking down, but I don't want to forget anything. So the first thing you need to do is decide which of your products or services are going to go online now. So once again, imperfect action. We just need to get this thing sorted. Okay, so which products and services can I get online right now? I am probably going to revert to using the term products in this chat, but please know that I am also talking about selling a service as a product in an e-commerce store. So forgive me for that. It's still relevant. I just will probably refer to products. So how can you adjust, update, or edit the products that you currently have? So I'll try and stick with the jumper example, and I'm going to try and flick into a more hospitality example. So for the jumper example, this jumper is not something that I can put online and put 5 available in each size right now, is it? So what I need something else that I can sell. So I need to pivot. Okay, so here's what I can do. I can get my patterns made up into a downloadable file, and I can charge $5 to download those, put together all the information that the people need to buy these. I can look into selling some kits so people can make these at home. So I put together the wool, and I put together the needles, and I put together the instructions. I pack it all up, and I can start shipping that out, because that's, let's be honest, a lot quicker than making up the jumpers. If that seems a little bit too hard basket and you're thinking, oh my gosh, no, I can't source wool and needles and this is way too hard. Okay, so where do you get your wool and your needles from? So where do you get your raw materials from? Can I speak to these people, and can I have a conversation with them about setting up some sort of affiliate marketing? So I'm going to link from my website to their website, saying exactly what my customers need to make this jumper I'm selling them the pattern for, and I have a conversation with my supplier, and I say, okay, I want some sort of affiliate marketing kickback. So how are we going to track who comes from my website to your website, so I can get a bit of a kickback when they buy the materials that I've recommended from you? So that's what I mean by a pivot. If we switch to a cafe example, so you make clean treats. You make clean treats and you sell them in your cabinet every day, and that's what you've been doing. So you've got the option to figure out how you're going to sell those clean treats. You've also got the option to start putting together some clean treat kits. So they come with a full set of instructions, they come with the recipe, everything that you need is in there, and people can step through how to do that. Well, hang on a minute, they need a special sort of food processor to be able to get those cashews really smooth. You're not necessarily going to go out and wholesale a whole lot of food processors, but you can talk to your local supplier and you can say, hey, I see that you stock this food processor. I'm going to recommend to my audience and my customers that they buy that food processor off you. Can we talk about some sort of affiliate code here? Same with coffee. You're selling coffee, you've got people like me. I'm probably not going to drive 40 minutes for a coffee, but if I drive 40 minutes for that contactless coffee, and then I can also get a keep cup with my coffee that's branded, and at the same time you can upsell me beans, I'll come home and I will make the coffee in my own machine. So not necessarily something that you would normally be selling, coffee beans, maybe not even keep cups, but these are the sort of things that you need to be thinking about when I say what else can you put online. You need to think about how you're going to price your products. Obviously there's things that you need to consider, because people are no longer stepping into the store or stepping into the cafe. So you need to factor in your labour to pick and pack their orders, and you need to factor in your packaging costs. Now, this does get a little bit tricky, because you need to be conscious that if they're a regular customer of yours, so they come in for raw cakes and coffee all the time, they know that you usually charge $7.50 a slice for your raw cakes and coffee. Beg your pardon, for your raw cakes. So if all of a sudden you're charging $10.50 and it's click and collect, You've just got to find the balance. It's not easy. I can't tell you exactly how to do it. You would know your customers much better than me. But there is that to factor in to the conversation. One thing, if I'm allowed to give out some unsolicited advice, one thing to consider is how you will attempt to build your delivery cost into your product price. There is and I've seen this so many times it's not funny, there is a genuine resistance to paying for delivery. I'm well aware there is a cost to deliver that product from you to your customer. But if you can find a way to build that into your price and build that into your margin, your conversion will just be so much higher. So you need to also start thinking as a business, are you going to just offer click and collect? Are you going to just offer delivery, or are you going to offer both? And how will you price it differently? What is your delivery price going to be? Where will you deliver to? Starts to bring all these things out. And then if you are going to deliver, which provider are you going to use for your delivery? So who am I going to use? How much is it going to cost me? You need to start having these conversations ASAP, because speaking from experience, they can be quite a drawn out process. So I found when I launched my most recent e-commerce store, that was the longest thing for me to get sorted, was who I was going to be using, back and forward. What sort of packaging are you going to be using? What does that packaging align with your business values? So for me, it's all, I actually use paper where I can, but I can because I'm using a product that's arguably not breakable. So rather than using a compostable plastic or a recyclable plastic, which is totally a business decision, I've decided to use cardboard and paper because I can, but also because people can choose to compost that cardboard, or they can choose to just pop it out with their curbside recycling, which is not really an option. A, if you don't have a compost bin for your compostable bag, or B, you don't do soft plastic recycling for whatever reason. So there's all these things that you need to start thinking about. Also, reverting back though to the imperfect action. So you can just make a call and get it done now, and worry about getting it right further down the track. So how are you going to accept payment? This sounds really simple, but a couple of things to think about. So bank deposit, I'm just going to accept bank deposit. I'm just going to send them my bank account details and I'm going to accept bank deposit. And that's cool, but you need to think that you have to be able to check your bank account to make sure it's come in. Then you're going to say to me, no, they can just send me a screenshot to show me they've paid. Wow, fun fact, my KiwiBank app on my phone, which is where I do my transfers from, no longer allows screenshots. So there's just these sort of things. So my unsolicited advice, again, choose a payment gateway. Choose a payment gateway and they can pay by debit card or credit card. Obviously, that is customer dependent. So depending on your demographics, and you will know more about this, your personal demographics, than I do, but it's just easier. So if you're using an online payment gateway, you know straight away that they've paid. They can't sort of cancel the transfer or whatever people do these days. You know, for peace of mind, you can tick that box, yes, payment has been received, and you can move on. You need to, I know with imperfect action for right now, but trying to take a long-term approach. How am I going to accept payment later? So do I want to start implementing buy now, pay later gateways such as Lay-By or Afterpay, OxyPay, ZipPay, the list goes on, and sort of have those in the back of your mind to start thinking about those. Now, this is where it starts to get more important, really. How am I going to tell my current customers that I'm going online? What's my strategy, for want of a better word? I feel like that's a bit of another eye roll term, isn't it? To tell them, hey guys, do you know that jumper that you bought? Now you can actually buy them online, or you can buy a pattern and you can make your own at home, or you can buy this kit that I've put together for you. Or, hi guys, we've really been missing you in the cafe with our clean treats. So this is what we're going to do. We've got them online available for click and collect, online available for delivery. We've also got kits online. How are you going to tell those people? Of course, this is where the digital marketers are going to say to you, where's your email list? And let's be honest, If you haven't been selling online, you probably don't have an email list. Especially if you've been selling in a cafe, at which point were people going to start giving you their email address? It's a little bit too much admin. So that hasn't been done. And that's okay, but there needs to be a social marketing strategy to start telling these people what you're going to be doing. I'm guessing is probably our first port of call, right? Social media marketing. So, next on my list, I've gone straight to some ideas. I've gone straight to the unsolicited advice here. So, you don't need me to tell you that social media can be hit and miss, right? So you have 3,000, 5,000, 12,000 people following your knitting business or your cafe. If you post, I don't even know how many people are going to see that. I feel you. This is my life too. So what is your strategy for getting those people to see that and then moving those people to your website? So is that some sort of giveaway? Is that some sort of tag 3 of your friends and each of you can get a $50 voucher to spend online on Clean Treats, because that's what we're doing now? Or does that mean you have some sort of referral discount where tell your friends that we're now doing Clean Treats online and refer them and I'm going to give you a special discount? These are the sort of things you need to start thinking about, because we all know it's not as easy as putting up a post and being, hey guys, all sorted on social media, all sorted now with the website, jump online and buy what you need. Also, who within your business is going to do what? So you might have 10 staff, 20 staff, I'm not sure. You might have 2 staff. So this might be really easy for you. But obviously, all of a sudden you're going online, so who is going to be doing what from within your business? Who is the person or the people who are going to be picking and packing orders? Who are the people that are going to be doing the stock management side of things? Who's going to be checking to make sure that the payments are coming through? Who is going to be in charge of updating the product descriptions online? The list goes on. So making sure that whoever within your team knows what their job is going to be, but also whoever within your team knows how to do that job, so that when you press go on this online store or this online payment gateway, however you decide to do it, everybody knows what they're doing. How are you going to clearly communicate the process to your customers? So this is not something that you can do and edit yourself, because you know how the process works. You've figured it out, you've dreamed it up in your head, and you're going to implement it. How are you going to be really, really clear on your new website or your updated website exactly how this is going to work? Remembering that click and collect at a clean eating cafe is probably not something that people are used to yet, or may ever be used to. So you need to be really clear with people about how this is going to work. So if you choose, this is how you choose. These are your options: click and collect or delivery. This is how you choose click and collect. This is how you choose delivery. If you choose click and collect, this is what the process is going to be. If you choose delivery, this is when your order will be sent, and this is when you can expect for your order to arrive. Be really, really clear about the process. You're not going to get it right straight away. You are going to get questions, so then you need to figure out what your process is going to be for answering those customer inquiries. It's also really good to make sure you are keeping note of these customer inquiries, and you are then incorporating these questions into your website content or into your FAQs or into your dispatch and delivery page, because this is obviously what you're missing. How can your customers get in touch with you to ask these questions? So it's really important. Are you going to have a little chat box? Are you going to have a contact us page and they contact you via that? Are you going to put your phone number everywhere? Once again, business decision. Your next thing you're going to have to think long and hard about, maybe not that long and hard about, how are you going to add value? So especially if not all of a sudden, your prices have gone up because your costs have gone up, or your margin's gone down, or however this is going to work for you, how are you going to add value to your current customers? Is that going to be free keep cup with the first 50 orders? Is that going to be free fluffy because I know you're at home with your children? Or is that going to be a free ebook when you buy this clean baking kit? There's all these things that you can do, but it takes the brain power to think about it, especially when we're all suffering from decision fatigue at this time, I know. The other thing is it takes time to implement that. So if you're going to do the keep cups, oh my gosh, I've got to source the keep cups, I've got to brand the keep cups. If you're going to do the ebook, you've got to get the ebook done, right? There's things to do. Okay, so business decisions. Sorry if you're already feeling overwhelmed. It wasn't overwhelming when I wrote them down, but now that I've just talked them out for 15 minutes, I am feeling overwhelmed. Okay, practical steps. This is what we're here for, right? What do we need to do? So I'm going to use the terms like web designer and graphic designer. If this is an in-house person, just switch out those terms. Okay, so first things first, web designer, the person who does your website. What can I do with my current website? We're just assuming you have a current website. What can I do with my current website? Because this is my only option. Let's be honest. But I'm not saying move platforms and change this and rebuild that. Please don't do that. You don't have time. Let's be honest. So what is my current capability on my current platform? What is the functionality? Help me figure out what you need from me to get me an online store. That's your first conversation. We need to be asking questions particularly around what they're going to need from a design point of view, because we need to switch to the graphic designer, who might be the same person, might not be. But so, okay, that's cool. Yes, Renee, I can build you an online store, but this is what I need from you. So I'm going to need 3 banner images for your rotating banner. I'm going to need 6 collection cover images for your collection covers. I'm also going to need a PNG format of your logo. I'm going to need a fav icon. The list goes on, right? But you need a really clear list, because your next practical step is to go to your graphic designer or in-house person and say, this is what I need. Boom, 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 boom. Then you need to move on to what you actually need for those product listings. So, best case scenario, you're going to write some really good keyword-rich product descriptions. Imperfect action though, probably not going to have time. Okay, that's cool. You might have to copy and paste from somewhere, or you might just have to make them up really quick on the fly. Figure out what you're going to do there. Product images. If you're lucky, you've got a supplier, and that supplier is going to be able to provide you with product images. If not, you're going to have to DIY. And once again, it's going to be a case of imperfect action. But the point is, it's taking the action, right? So the practical steps is writing the product descriptions, deciding what the product title is, deciding what the pricing is, deciding how you're going to tier that pricing. So if you are going to have different options for things, these are my options, these are how I'm going to price these. Photos. Okay, so I'm decided for simplicity, I'm just going to have all of my photos are going to be square. I need to compress those for the website. These are the sort of practical steps you need to be taking, even if they are imperfect. While we're on products, you need to be thinking about how you want those products to be grouped in your online store. So, okay, I want to have cafe. Let's go back to the cafe. I want to have clean treats ready to go. So these are my ready to order clean treats. And I click on this on the menu, and these are my options in here. And then I want to have my clean treat kits. So these are my options here. And you start to then categorize those products by how you would like them grouped on the website. That's going to help you. Comms, start drafting the comms yesterday. Start drafting those comms, because it always takes longer than you think. But please, please, please get them checked, because they will make total sense to you, complete sense to you. They're also going to make complete sense probably to your staff or to your team members who have been part of this process, who know how this works. So preferably get your comms checked by someone who is your target market. So if your target market is 35-year-old women, get your mate to check those for you. But if your target market is 65-year-old men, Dad, can you help me out here? Because you need to make sure that you're hitting the mark with those comms, otherwise you're wasting your time. Not only that, the inquiries are going to come through thick and fast, and when you're already under the pump, you're already feeling the stress. Those inquiries are not a fun time. I don't need to tell you that, do I? More practical steps. Social media, get it sorted. Oh, I haven't set up Instagram yet, didn't really need it. Get your Instagram sorted. Oh, I haven't updated my Facebook page for ages. Get that sorted. Put the links on your Instagram page and your Facebook page to your website. Put the links on your Instagram page and your Facebook page to your location if you are going to be doing click and collect. Put all of the information that people need on your social media channels. So there's the call option, there's the email option. This is Facebook and Instagram. Get all of those settings done now, so you're ready to go. FYI, I have put these together in some downloadable checklists, so don't panic. I feel like I've sort of started speeding up the chat here, so don't panic if you're missing these or you need to pause and make some notes. I do have some really simple downloadable lists for you that I will get linked down here somewhere. I'm not really sure how this works, but I'll sort you out. I've got you sorted. Okay, now, I know I've been talking about imperfect action. I feel like even I'm getting like nervous for you about how this is going to work and how you're going to do this, but that's okay. I also need you, at the risk of really overloading you, to be thinking long term. Okay, so imperfect action is amazing. Let's be honest, we just need to get this online. We just need to get that cash flow coming in. We need to get that stock moving. Yeah, I get it. I know how this works. But we also need to be making sure that the time and the money that we're investing right now, there's going to be some return on investment further down the track. So, social media, I know you either love it or you hate it. I get it. I totally get it. But you need to have some sort of a content strategy. So how am I going to get this information out there, and how am I going to repeat this information in a way that isn't repetitive but is getting the message across? What is my strategy? Look, I know that this is not really a time to be splashing out on professionals, but if you can, a professional will do this so much better than you can. I also know how easy it is to stop updating your socials because you are so busy doing other things. So find a scheduling app, sit down, it will take you a couple of hours. I know you probably don't have a couple of hours, but you should be able to get a couple of weeks worth of content at least across your channels by using some sort of scheduling app, scheduling program, getting those all sorted and off your list. You need a plan for turning those followers on those social media channels into customers, because once you've got them as customers, you're getting their data on your Facebook pixel, which I really need you to research. It's also on your list. What is a Facebook pixel? Why do I need a Facebook pixel? Can I even put a Facebook pixel on my current website? That's something else for you to be asking your web designer. I apologize with the pointing. I shouldn't be pointing. So why do I need a Facebook pixel? What difference is this going to make to me? How am I going to turn these followers into customers? Or at the very least, get their email address? Because we're going back to the good old fashioned email marketing here, because it's going to work. I think. I hope. I'm not an expert in that sort of stuff. Anyway, SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. Sorry if I'm telling you how to suck eggs here. So, look, without getting into it, because let's be honest, it's Thursday afternoon, look, I could go on for days. I won't, but so there's an on-page strategy and there's an off-page strategy, and right now your on-page strategy is probably going to be all you can work on. It's not a quick fix, it's not immediate, but you need to know what your current platform is capable of in terms of SEO. You need to know what your strategy is. You need to come up with a strategy. This is not a right now thing, remember, this is long term. This is just something to keep in mind and think of, but you want to make sure that you at least are taking some practical steps in the immediate term to make that easier for yourself down the track. So SEO, what does my SEO strategy look like? What is SEO? Can somebody help me with this? What does SEO mean for my business? I can tell you what it means for John's business, but what does it mean for my business? Because it's going to be different. Now, this is totally not my area, and I wouldn't even know where to start. Google AdWords and Google Shopping. So these are things that, if you're going to scale this, if you're going to get this cranking, if you're going to get, the money coming in, the stock going out, the wages paid, the rent paid. We need to be getting as much traffic and converting as much of that traffic as possible. So who can I speak to that can help me with Google AdWords and Google Shopping and making sure that my current platform can do the Google Shopping, Google AdWords stuff, and if it can't, what do I need to do? Where do I need to be in terms of platforms to have a platform that can do the SEO, that can have the superior user experience, that can do the Google Shopping, Google AdWords, because not all platforms can. So that's your next thing on your list for taking a long-term approach. The platform you've got now, you're just going to have to make it work. But for a medium-term or longer-term approach, do I need to be looking at moving platforms? What do I need to do to move platforms? Can my current web designer move platforms for me? The list goes on, but start asking around, because if you're using a site that you've just been using for a landing page with your logo and your menu and your address on it, it's worked perfectly until now, but now all of a sudden you need it to be an e-commerce store, and it's totally okay that it is no longer fit for purpose. You're going to have to make it work now, but for further down the track, you need to be investing in something that is going to give you a return on that investment. Your next thing is your rewards program. Everybody's expecting a rewards program, let me tell you that for free. So if you've got a current rewards program, how are you going to integrate that into your online store? If you don't have one, how am I going to get one? Have a look around, do a bit of subtle investigating what other people are doing. And then we're back to adding value. You've just got to be always thinking about how you're going to be adding value. Because remembering, if you're taking your Clean Cafe online and you're offering clean treats for delivery and clean treat kits, other people are going to be doing that too. So, the competition really heats up. The beauty though that we do have, let's be positive, is for now it's really essentially a localized service. So that really cuts out so much, particularly if you're doing click and collect, that cuts out so much of your sort of ambiguity around your marketing. So it's just a localized campaign. This is what I'm going to do. How can I focus on local? What can I do that is local, knowing that your target market are going to be searching for local? How can I leverage off local listings, local directories, local Facebook pages, because people can't leave the area. You do want to start thinking about broadening your reach, but for right now it's local, and that does take a lot of the guesswork out of it. Whew. Is that enough? I feel like we've covered a few things. I apologise if I spoke too fast or that was really overwhelming. I am going to be taking questions, not right now, but you can submit your questions and I will happily answer them for you. Thank you for having me. Ngā mihi. It's been fun. It's been really fun, and congratulations if you've managed to sit through this uninterrupted. I know exactly what it's like to be working from home. I hope that you're going okay. I know it's an interesting time for all of us, and I think it's going to be okay. But you've got a great team. You should have great support, and start leaning on your local regional development agencies who have got the resources and have got the stuff to get you through. And I hope that I'll see you soon.